Good evening, Southeast Texas. Thanks so much for tuning in to 12 News Plus as we take a look, an in-depth look at the forecast over the next 7 days and even the tropics and everything in between. First off, look at the building cumulus along the coastline. This view courtesy of Mid-County Plumbing. There are widely scattered thunder showers in the coastal waters, and that extends back over towards Houston. So we're going to keep a 20% coverage of evening showers, thunder showers in the forecast. Specifically here in the Triangle, some of those may make it ashore over the next couple of hours. And in your headlines over the next 7 days, I think tomorrow will be our best chance of shower and thunderstorm activity across Southeast Texas, with scattered showers and storms expected as we work on into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with lower chances by Sunday. That goes down to about a 30% coverage. And then as we work on into early next week, rain chances really take a nosedive, maybe a 10 to 20% coverage both Monday and Tuesday, with highs inching upwards into the mid-90s in spots across the area as weak high pressure rebuilds across our region. In your algae report today, weed pollen at moderate levels, no tree pollen, grass pollen low levels, and mold at moderate levels today. So as I said, we are watching showers, thunder showers off towards Houston and also towards Trinity Bay, back over into the coastal waters. And again, those are moving on off towards the north and east. Unsure of how much will enter the triangle, but high-res modeling does show that potential coming up. As far as rainfall, the winds aloft were very light today, only around 5 miles an hour. So that allowed some locally heavy rainfall. Port Arthur back over to Groves, some 2 to 2.5 to 3 inches fell in that area in a very short amount of time. Otherwise, as I said, we're watching widely scattered coastal showers. If we could drop that super, please. You can see that on radar back over towards, say, Anahuac and back over to near High Island, back over in towards South Houston. And those are trying to move onshore off towards the north and east. The flow is in the mid levels of the atmosphere is out of the southwest, so that's the direction that these are going to be moving if they do make it into our area. And modeling does show that potential. It's not doing a real good job right now. It does show the potential for some of those showers to make it on in. Modeling's been really struggling the last couple of days across our area as far as how much rainfall we expect. But one thing is quite clear is that Texas is stuck between high pressure. There is what we call a weakness aloft. In other words, it's lower pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere. I'll show you a graphic that depicts that very well. And so whenever you have that, we have high pressure off towards our west, high pressure off over towards the southeast U.S. So all the disturbances, moisture kind of fill into this area, which is over Texas. So looking like above normal rainfall, at least through the next several days across East Texas. Otherwise, this is one of the things that we're watching, is that an upper level low is going to go underneath and back over towards the west as we work on into the weekend. This could be an issue for the hill country once again as we head towards the weekend. I'll show you that in just a second. But higher pressure is back over towards Florida and back over towards the southwestern U.S. So this is going to come on in and continue to keep quite a bit of moisture over the state over the next couple of days of Gulf moisture, and that will lead to afternoon showers and thunderstorms. The atmosphere will destabilize as we warm it up each afternoon, and that will produce scattered, certainly scattered, maybe occasionally numerous at times through the next few days. So Futurecast showing the potential for those showers over towards Houston. It's actually further along than what you're seeing here, but notice how it does try to bring some of those in. So not a big deal. I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill, but 20, maybe 30% coverage this evening with dry weather from, say, Lumberton, Silsbee back up into the lakes area. Otherwise, looking at fair to partly cloudy skies, going to be warm and humid, lower 70s lakes, mid to upper 70s in the Triangle for your low temperatures tomorrow. And then the first half of the day, there's 7 a.m. I think we had a question about, let's see, will the rain coverage near Hildebrandt Road be less in the morning hours? Yes, definitely. Morning hours looks fairly dry. This will be an afternoon type setup to where we need to destabilize the atmosphere. You need to warm it up before we start getting showers and storms. So if you're over towards Hildebrandt Road coming up tomorrow, you should be in good shape. Otherwise, there we go. There's noontime. We're starting to hit what we call the convective temperature. That's when things start popping in the atmosphere and we start producing showers and thunderstorms. Pretty good coverage in the triangle, 50, maybe 60% coverage. And again, a subjective 60% coverage in the lakes area. And then as we head towards tomorrow evening, things wind down with the loss of daytime heating. That is a very common phrase that we use, is that the best instability is late morning, early afternoon hours. And then as the sun begins to set towards 7, 8 o'clock at nighttime, start cooling off the atmosphere, and that induces stabilization, and that causes shower and thunderstorm activity to weaken. So as I was saying, high pressure, look at the red. That's over towards our southwestern U.S. and high pressure off towards the southeastern U.S. I've depicted that in white. This line right here is a ridge of high pressure, and a ridge of high pressure over towards the southwest. And in between, there's the weakness. This is the weakness over Texas and Louisiana. All the green, that's the moisture in the atmosphere. And you can see that we've got moisture, and that will certainly destabilize the atmosphere with daytime heating and produce, with that moisture, a pretty good coverage each afternoon, we think, through the next several days. So tomorrow, not a lot of change, more of the same. That was current. Now we're looking at tomorrow afternoon. High pressure off towards our east and southeast, high pressure off towards our west, lots of moisture. Doesn't take much to produce a pretty good coverage of showers and storms. And we'll be watching this disturbance. There's some indication that this may try to move on in towards the hill country, and that would produce a pretty good chance of shower and thunderstorm activity, unfortunately, in through the Texas hill country. Now, Saturday, the high starts to strengthen a bit. And as we head on into early next week, the high will be moving closer to our area as we work on into, say, Monday and Tuesday. Notice how the moisture starts to thin out, atmosphere dries, higher pressure builds on in, and that will start warming things up. And the rain chances will be pushed further off towards our west from our area. So it looks like a hotter, drier scenario as we work on into Monday and Tuesday of next week, with only about a 10 to 20% coverage. Highs 93, 95, maybe 96 up in the lakes area as we head towards Tuesday afternoon. In the tropics, I've spent quite a bit of time looking at all the ensemble modeling through the next 7 to 10 days, and I don't see anything in the Gulf, Southwest Atlantic, or in the Caribbean. Right now, upper level low pressure in the Caribbean and upper level low pressure over towards the Texas coastline does not bode well as far as producing any type of tropical activity. So that's some good news, as it looks quiet at least through the next 7, possibly 10 days in this part of the world. So on the Gulf tomorrow, looking at slightly choppy seas around 2 feet in your coastal marine forecast, a southwest wind at 5 to 10 knots, water temperature 91. One high tide tomorrow expected at Sabine Pass at 5:02 a.m. Otherwise, forecast tonight, again, we're including a 20% coverage for the triangle, as we're watching radar very closely for that activity off towards our south and west, over towards, say, Anahuac, and back over into, let's say, Galveston Bay. Just looking at no new messages as far as any questions. So again, a 20% coverage triangle. We'll be in the mid to upper 70s tonight. That's pretty normal for this time of year. And the lower 70s in the lakes as skies go mostly clear to partly cloudy and winds go calm. So tomorrow, our rain chances at about a 50 to 60% coverage, could be higher than that, and high temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. This is basically our bottom line graphic. This is everything you need to know as far as being outdoors tomorrow. And the heat index mid-90s. A little bit of break on the heat index tomorrow. The UV index will be high, and winds are looking fairly light, and we're looking at partly sunny skies coming up tomorrow afternoon. So in Beaumont, we'll go 90, light south and southwest wind with a 50% coverage of mainly afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Let's see what modeling shows. So again, this is my forecast right here, and this is modeling, and it shows about a 50% coverage of showers and storms. Again, not surprising. You get some of those showers and storms, and they're heavy enough, that could knock temperatures down, certainly in the lower 80s, maybe in the 70s in spots. Then tomorrow, in the lakes area, it's going to take longer for those storms to get further up and towards the lakes area. So we'll go with 91, 92, and maybe with a 60% coverage. Usually, rain chances are higher the further you get away from the coastline, because everything organizes over the triangle, and then you build up and you create better chances of showers and storms up in the lakes area. So go 92 there. Hey, not bad. And as you can see with the showers and storms, I don't agree with those rain chances. I think the model is missing that. We'll go with a 60% coverage, and it's too warm and too dry. So as I said, 92 and about a 60% coverage. And that's exactly what we're forecasting. Lower 90s up in the lakes, a 60% coverage. And here in the triangle, about 89, 90, maybe 91 under partly sunny skies. And then, of course, it's not going to be raining all day. It's going to be mainly afternoon hours that we'll see scattered to possibly numerous showers and thunderstorms. First part of the day, or the earliest in the afternoon, will be here in the triangle, and that will work on off towards the north. And again, looks like late morning, say 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll start it here in the triangle and then move that on off towards the lakes area after about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's when you'll see those showers and thunderstorms. So your 7-day forecast showing our best chances here in the triangle at about a 50% coverage, could be higher. And then with that weakness sticking around, I'm reluctant to go any lower than a 40% coverage. Again, it could be higher. High temperatures, lower 90s, 91, maybe 92. And then by Sunday, we'll go with a 30% coverage as that high begins to nose in from the east. And by Monday and Tuesday, the high ought to be making its closest approach. So that'll knock the rain chances on out. May only go at 10% coverage tomorrow as we get more data, see how much drying does actually occur in the atmosphere. At this point, we'll go to 20% coverage, highs 93, maybe 94 here in Beaumont, obviously a couple degrees warmer up in the lakes area. So how much rain can we expect? Well, I think the bulk of the rains will occur over the next 3 to 4 days, and 1 to 2 inches seems very doable. Could be higher, as we saw today in Port Arthur, where they picked up over 3 1/4 inches of rainfall just in a short amount of time. This is a general look. And again, with the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, you could get something like that in certain spots and localized spots, so don't be surprised. But this is a general look at what modeling is showing. 1 to 2 inches seems reasonable. I think it could be higher in spots. Otherwise, that's your 7-day forecast. And as we take a look at radar again, nothing up in the lakes area. I think you're pretty much done in the lakes area and probably into Hardin County. We're watching this activity off towards the southwest, and that is moving off towards the north and east very slowly. The winds at 10,000 feet are only around 5 to 10 miles an hour, so you don't get a real good coverage in that scenario. But again, can't rule out a 10 to 20% coverage here this evening over the next few hours here in the triangle, as that activity slowly weakens as we head towards, say, 8 o'clock tonight. Otherwise, modeling pretty much supports what I'm talking about. Tries to drag some of those showers and thunder showers in from the southwest this evening. 9 o'clock, could see some flashes of lightning in the sky this evening as that continues to slowly move off to the north and east and weaken. So again, the big picture showing what is going on is that we've got high pressure off towards our west, high pressure off towards our south and east, and where I'm standing in is the weakness aloft. The weakness aloft between these two highs is what is going to produce our pretty good chances of shower and thunderstorm activity. Lots of green over our area. We've got lots to work with. So with a little bit of daytime heating, that will encourage shower and thunderstorm activity tomorrow. Right on through to the end of the week, some disturbances. And again, that disturbance that's in the Northwest Gulf in the upper levels will be headed on off towards the Texas Hill Country this weekend. So rain chances will be going up there. Then as we work on into early next week, we'll be watching higher pressure build on in. The atmosphere will dry and temperatures will be warming up as that high noses in from the east. So again, on your 7-day weather impact forecast, looking at our best chance of rain and thunderstorm activity tomorrow, scattered showers and storms Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with about a